The judge is right. Justice is real. It lives here in Montgomery County. I'm proud to have been able to represent Mr. Cosby. We came here looking for an acquittal, but like that Rolling Stone song says, you don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need. God bless you all, and happy Father's Day.
Mr. Cosby, how do you feel? Mr. Cosby, how do you think?
And before questions, before we leave, I want to say something in the words of Huey P. Newton. Power is the ability to define phenomenon, making it act in a designed manner. Power is the ability to define phenomenon and make it act in a designed manner. Mr. Cosby, power is back. It's back. It has been restored. The jurors, they use their power to speak. And Mrs. Cosby, power is back. So the legacy didn't go anywhere. It has been restored. And for all those attorneys who conspired, like Gloria Allred, tell them to go back to law school and take another class. Thank you.
Mr. Cosby, Mr. Cosby, one word.
If you're joining us now, this is a live image of Bill Cosby exiting the courthouse with his attorneys on both sides there, it appears. A judge, if you're joining us now, officially declaring a mistrial in the Bill Cosby criminal trial. It's been over 50 weeks that he has been here. The juries have been, 50 days, 50 hours that the jury has been deliberating, trying to reach this verdict. And a statement was read on behalf of Camille Cosby, his wife. Very harsh words for the judge here. I want to head now to Ricky Kleeman, a legal analyst who joins us now by phone. Ricky, the defense here somewhat declaring that Bill Cosby's power is back. I'm not sure if you were able to hear what they were saying. Yes, I could hear. You did. Okay, what did you make of their demeanor following this verdict?
Well, I certainly think that the lawyers themselves conducted themselves appropriately as they have throughout the trial. But I am very critical of Mr. Cosby's spokesperson. We also have to remember, if at a later point in time Mr. Cosby is convicted of the same allegations that there was just a mistrial for, that he is facing a possible
Ricky, I'm going to interrupt 1 second.
count.
We're going to head to Gloria Allred, who's in front of the mic right there.
One of the accusers of Mr. Cosby, and we also have... pardon me?
No, they're asking you to speak louder.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Attorney Gloria Allred. I represent 33 accusers of Mr. Cosby. One of them is Linda Kirkpatrick. She's with me today. She'll be making a statement. And then we also have with us Jewel Ellison, and she'll make a statement as well. This is my statement in reference to the mistrial. We can never underestimate the blinding power of celebrity. Sorry, just wait. Ready? We can never underestimate the blinding power of celebrity, but justice will come. I hope that the prosecution will try this case again, and that the next time the court will permit more prior bad act witnesses to testify, as the prosecution had requested for this trial. For the trial that just ended, the court only allowed one such prior bad act witness to testify, and that was my client, Kelly Johnson, rather than the 13 such witnesses which the prosecution wanted to call. If the court allows more accusers to testify next time, it might make a difference. In other words, it's too early to celebrate, Mr. Cosby. Round two may be just around the corner. And this time, justice may prevail. I also want to commend the courage of Andrea Constant, as well as Kelly Johnson and their mothers in testifying, and all of the accusers whom I represent who have spoken out They've taken risks. They've refused to be silenced. And I want them to keep their spirits up. And I also want other persons who believe that they are assault victims of anyone to report it to law enforcement and to stay strong and to consult private attorneys and to know that there can be justice and there may be justice in the future. I'm returning to court in Santa Monica on June 27th on our case of Judy Huff versus Bill Cosby, and we'll look forward to the courts setting a trial date and to working for justice in our civil lawsuit against Mr. Cosby. And now this is Linda Kirkpatrick. You want to take? Sure.
What great respect and admiration I have for the jury, unquestionably the hardest working jury in the country over the last 50+ hours of deliberation. He thought he could bury us. He didn't know we were seeds. We are sprouting up. We are looking for reform, uncovering the rape culture in this country where victims are blamed and shamed. We are continuing looking for more reform to represent all victims of sexual assault, male or female. Only 2% of rapists in this country ever spend one day in jail. 98% of rapists are walking among us to prey upon us again, men and women. It's time for reform, people. Open your eyes. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much.
Reform, what the policy, statute of limitations in California, I was part of only 8 people that got the statute of limitations abolished in California for the benefit of 38 million people. In Nevada, we've just made some headway there. There are still 25 states that have a statute of limitations on rape and assault. We got to change that.
I wrote something here to make sure that I said what was really in my heart, but I gotta digress for just a second and start with talking to the Black community. I just want to say I feel your pain. I understand that. But in the words of the late, great Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., he said we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. It is time for rape and violence. That's the end of the quote. It is time for rape and violence to stop so the healing can start. Let's walk together as one family to solve our differences peacefully. Clearly, we must work towards creating a peaceful, egalitarian society. God is watching all of us.
Are there any questions?
Gloria?
Pardon me?
Andrea coming to speak to us. Andrea.
What about it? Oh, I have no idea. I don't represent Andrew. Oh, sorry.
Gloria, you can look ahead to the camera and answer
okay.
my question. Your reaction to this mistrial, that the jury had said that they were hopelessly deadlocked, the judge sent them back, and now a couple of days later, they said they were hopelessly deadlocked. Are you surprised by what just happened? And just your reaction overall?
I'm never surprised by what a jury will do. And as I said the other day, it's not over till it's over. And it may not be over yet. It's over for this jury. but the prosecution can still refile and impanel a new jury. I've seen that many times in cases all over the country, and sometimes a second jury will render a different outcome than the first jury, and sometimes that's conviction. So we don't know. We have to await the prosecutor's decision as to whether or not he will refile. Has he already announced this one? Okay, well that's good, because sometimes prosecutors wait to know how many jurors have voted, for conviction or not. But if he has already said that, then I am very happy, because that's important. And again, I emphasize that I would like to see a court decide that more prior bad act accusers can testify, because that's relevant on the issue of whether Mr. Cosby had a plan, a scheme to drug and sexually assault women. And I think the jury will be better served if they can hear from the other accusers, and then they can make that decision as to whether they would convict or not, and whether an alleged victim was in the position to consent or was incapacitated by drugs.
Other than adding more women to a case, which they weren't able to do before.
Because the court did not permit it, although the prosecution argued for it.
What would you advise them to do next time that they didn't do this time?
I think they did a very, very good job, and I want to commend District Attorney Steele, law enforcement, the detectives, Kristen Fedden, Stu, everybody on the team.
What could they do differently?
I would like to, they should again argue for more accusers to be able to testify. Other than that, I'm sure they'll analyze what they might want to do differently, and I'll wait their decision. Pardon me? Yeah, I mean, it's relevant as a matter of law on the issue of consent. Did he know they didn't consent? If they believe he is drugging a number of women and then sexually assaulting them, then that could prove that he knew that they could not consent if they were incapacitated, could not consent, and that there was a plan, a scheme to do what he did. And that's why I think it's really important that the other accusers be able to testify. And on those 2 points, as a matter of law, that's why the prosecution argued that they should be allowed to testify. So, all right, so never give up is what I say to other sexual assault victims throughout the country.
Here we go.
Good morning. Although we're disappointed that the jury was not able to come to a unanimous verdict in this case, we appreciate the extraordinary sacrifices that the jurors made, coming all the way from Pittsburgh and deliberating and working for the time period they did. This has been a long process to get to this point. We had to overcome a number of obstacles that were put in our way, number of legal maneuvers by the defense to stop or delay this trial. We got to try our case, and we got to be in a position where Andrea Constanter and our other prior bad acts witness could testify in a court of law as to the facts of what happened to them. We will evaluate and review our case. We will take a hard look at everything involved, and then we will retry it. As I said in court, our plan is to move this case forward as soon as possible. There's some good outcomes that have come from this. Despite the fact that the jury couldn't come to a verdict in this case, Andrea Constant and our prior bad acts witness got to face the defendant in court and got to tell what happened to them. Too often, these types of crimes, sexual assaults, do not get reported, especially cases where a drug has been used in a drug-facilitated sexual assault, an intoxicant, so that a victim does not have a clear memory of what went on. So we hope that doing this and moving forward in this case sends a strong message that victims of these type of crimes can come forward and can be heard on what has happened to them, and they will have the prosecutors and investigators that are looking at those cases take a hard look at them and treat them with the respect that they deserve. The other part of this is, I think, is so important is standing up for sexual assault victims. This is a case that we know has been important for sexual assault victims everywhere, but when we look at the case we have one victim. We have Andrea Constant. She has shown such courage through this, and I think I share our thoughts on her. We're just in awe of what she has done and moved forward in this case. And when we made the determination that we had talked about today of moving forward, it lies in the fact that she's entitled to a verdict in this case, and the citizens of Montgomery County, where this crime occurred, are entitled to a verdict in this case, and we will push forward to try to get that done and get justice done. You know, our job in this, and as prosecutors, we should take on the tough cases, and we do, and we do it because it's the right thing to do.